Why did JD decide to have a secondary listing in Hong Kong at this particular moment in time?
毕竟京东目前主体的业务呢，主要是在中国大陆地区，以及在亚洲的某些。
JD's main business is in mainland China and some places in Asia. Our main customers and Asian investors are very familiar with this market.
更了解，我们也希望呢，我们的投资人呢，来自于亚洲的和来自于国内的投资人，这样的话可能对。
We hope to see our investors from China and Asia better understand JD's concept, services, and future development. Hong Kong is one of the best free economies in the world.
也是一个全球非常重要的，也是一个最好的一个经济自由体之一。那么我们也希望呢，能够。
We hope to have many mature institutional and individual investors to share JD's growth.
能跟京东一起去分享京东的这种成长。
How would you like to prioritize the use of the funds that are raised in this IPO? What do you want to direct it to in terms of spending for the company?
接下来呢，一方面是夯实我们在零售方面，尤其
We would like to strengthen our investment in retail, particularly in the all-channel sector. We would also like to strengthen our supply chain, which is a foundation for JD Group, not only for JD Retail. The process to build up a supply chain is very time-consuming and costly, but we want to make it better. When we have a better supply chain, it will bring a better user experience.
带来消费者更好的体验。
Have there been any internal discussions about delisting from the Nasdaq?
There hasn't been any internal discussion about delisting from the Nasdaq. I think this is something that is very far away with lots of uncertainties. Our focus is still on running the business and serving our customers.
We've obviously got trade tensions between China and the US, trade tensions between Beijing and Australia and Canada as well. For you, how much of a headwind are they for a business like JD?
从目前的角度来说，京东跟国外的。
For now, JD has not seen any changes or negative impact from working with global brands and trading partners.
或者说一些负向的，当然我们也希望的是。
From my personal perspective, I would like to see a more open and free global market, which could be beneficial not only for Chinese customers, but for global customers, manufacturers and traders.
中国消费者对全球的消费者、生产者、贸易者应该都是更有利的。
You know better than most that this is an incredibly competitive sector. And you've got the likes of Pinduoduo, which is now moving into electronics, which has typically been a strength of Jingdong. And you've got Alibaba moving in to build out its logistics. How much of a threat are those kind of moves by your competitors?
从竞争对手角度来说，他们会在每一个阶段会做出不同的。
JD's competitors take different steps at different stages, which I pay attention to. But it doesn't change our strategy because we dance with our customers. We dance with ourselves, not with our competitors.
我自己跳舞，我不会跟他们一起跳舞的。
I wanted to ask you specifically about Pinduoduo because 4 years ago didn't exist, and in 4 years its market cap is roughly the same as JD. How do you deal with a threat like Pinduoduo?
I don't care too much about a company founded 4 years ago, although there is always value for a company that exists in the market. But it's not up to me to determine whether the value is sustainable. We should leave it to the market and the customers to decide.
This week is Liu Yaobao, which is your festival. You designed it, you came up with the idea. Last year, total sales hit a record of around $30 billion US. As you look at the numbers now, what are they telling you? Are you going to be able to beat that record this year?
无论是国内品牌还是国外的品牌，那么在上半年呢，受到了
Revenue for domestic and overseas brands were not very good in the first half of the year, with the impact from the coronavirus. So the 618 Shopping Festival is the most important sale opportunity for brands in the first half.
最重要的一个销售的机会。就是今年的618呢，跟往年相比的话呢，品牌厂商参与。
Compared with previous years, we will see a high participation of brands for this year's 618 Festival. Those which have stronger storage pressure and who've had a severe impact from the virus will have bigger discounts this year compared with previous years. We may also see faster traffic growth and user growth.
整体的流量的增长和用户的新老用户的增长。
There was a forecast for second quarter revenue, the company forecast of between 20 and 30% growth Are you able to give us a sense of where revenues are going to come in within that range?
因为毕竟我们没法做。
We can't give a precise estimate of the increase, as our 618 shopping festival is not over yet, and that will be very important to revenue in the second quarter. What I can forecast is that revenue will come in pretty much within our estimates. We are very confident.
非常有信心的。
We're looking at economic growth at its weakest level in at least 3 decades. There's pressure, of course, on people's wages. What is your sense of where China's economy is at now and when consumer demand might start to rebound?
整个疫情呢，确实带来了
The COVID-19 pandemic has imposed increasing uncertainties on the economy. You can tell from the statistics, which are not as high as previous years.
但同时呢，我认为呢，中国呢是一个
But I think China has a huge market, and there is a lot of room for customer
消费
growth.
者其实还没有消费者它的增长的空间还会非常大。中国的
China's market is very resilient. There is short-term volatility, but for the long term, China is still a market that can attract global investors and brands.
品牌商也好，还是非常关注的一个市场。
You had this clear advantage during the pandemic, which was the logistics and the services. As the economy recovers, do you still hold on to that advantage that you've had over your peers?
在行业里面，在消费者面前的时候，大家可能更愿意提到说京东的物流。
In the industry or in the eyes of customers, people would say JD Logistics has a leading advantage over competitors, which is a strong label for us. But behind that are our comprehensive capabilities, including technology, product and services, as well as our business model and concept. Those are factors that could help us benefit from the pandemic in the short term and could bring us sustainable development from the long-term business competition.
收益还是一个在未来长期经营竞争当中呢，我们都是可以获得可持续性的。
Online to offline has been a big theme, particularly when it comes to pushing into the grocery space, so fresh fruit and vegetables, and JD's been investing in that area. What are the key aims for you in terms of the grocery sides of the business, and what are the challenges?
所以说今年的话呢，应该是我们整个生鲜业务。
This year, our online and offline businesses will collaborate to develop our fresh produce business. We need to gradually push this development forward because developing an offline business takes time and needs a business model to grow rather than just relying on capital.
去解决掉，但是生鲜
Fresh produce will be our next important development strategy.
发展战略。